the concentrated hydrochloric acid. We also have the concentrated sulfuric acid, and also finally concentrated nitric acid. We have 3 different kinds of mineral acid in the school laboratory, and all of them, when they are concentrated, they are very corrosive. And also we have some other term here. Hydrogen chloride. Hydrogen chloride is a gas. It's a gaseous form of the hydrochloric acid. This is a gaseous form of the hydrochloric acid. And we have some other acid, for example, concentrated ethanol acid. And also we have some alkali, like ammonia, sodium hydroxide solution, potassium hydroxide solution. Okay, they are also corrosive. Okay, but the solid form here, now these substances here, they are solution or liquid. Okay, solution is not a liquid. Solution is not a liquid. Who can tell me what is the difference between solution and liquid? Okay. How to distinguish? How to
Solution is something mixed together.
Mixed with what? Mixed with
Under chemical.
Mixed with a chemical.
a chemical mixed in what? So
In a liquid.
yes, okay. When we have a chemical mixed or dissolved in water, then we call it a solution. Okay, make sure you know this point. When a chemical which is mixed or dissolved in water, and we call it a solution. But a liquid, it means it is only a kind of chemical. In that kind of chemical, it is in a liquid form. That's it. That means it can be flow like the water. And of course, water is a liquid. We only have one chemical in the water. Okay? And
So is it a solution is a mixture and a liquid is a compound?
yeah, good,
like that?
good. Solution, of course, is a mixture. Okay? And we will learn this concept later in chapter 2 or 3. Okay? But of course, liquid is only one kind of chemical. Okay, there's only one kind of chemical. Okay, it is maybe a compound, or maybe it is an element. Okay, but we will discuss it later. And at the bottom here, we have sodium, potassium that we have already mentioned in flammable. If you remember, sodium and potassium, they are flammable substances. Okay, but they are also corrosive. The solid of sodium and potassium, they are corrosive. Sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, we can make a solution. We can make a solution of sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide. They are corrosive. But the solid of sodium hydroxide and solid of potassium hydroxide are also corrosive. Okay, so you have to make yourself very clear about this concept. Okay, any question here? So this is corrosive. And then if we need to handle the corrosive substances, then you have to wear a lab coat. Okay, if you have, you need to wear the safety goggle in case it will spill into your eyes. And you have to wear the glove. But I have mentioned that glove is not good enough. Glove, the term here is not good enough. You have to specify you will wear a rubber glove or a plastic glove. Okay, but not only write down glove. And of course, you have to avoid it to contact with eye or skin. If it is accidentally spilled into the eyes or on the skin, then you have to wash your eyes or your hand with plenty of water for a very long time, for about 3 minutes. Finally, if the solution is dilute and it is not corrosive, then we may use the term irritant. And the diluted mineral acid, they are only irritant. They are not so corrosive. And of course, you should avoid to contact the chemical with the eyes or skin. Okay, that's all for the hazard warning label. Is there any question? No question. Then we will go on. If you refer to the example A1 here, then you can see some example of hazard warning label that you need to put, and you have the answer here. The answer here. And remember, okay, if a substance is associated with different hazard of similar nature, then, as I mentioned in the lesson, we will only use the higher hazard. We will use only the higher hazard label for that chemical. For example, if it is explosive, then of course we will only put the explosive label, but not the flammable label. Okay, so this is the thing that you need to remember. Okay, and also some chemical, they will have two hazard warning labels. They will have two hazard warning labels. For example, methanol, I told you that methanol is toxic and also it is flammable. Then, other than the example here, we have benzene. Benzene is flammable and also carcinogenic. Concentrated nitric acid is oxidizing and corrosive. Then, can you tell me there's any other chemical which will show two labels on the bottle? Any other example? Okay, please type your answer in the group chat. Yes, good. For potassium or sodium, they are flammable. Oh, sorry. Okay, go back here. For potassium and sodium, they are flammable and also corrosive. Good. Okay. Are any other example? Any other example that you think they will have two or more hazard warning labels on the bottle?
Hydrochloric acid.
Hydrochloric acid. Okay, then what are the labels?
Corrosive and irritant.
No.
I think.
Now, no. Remember, if we have the corrosive label, then we will not use the irritant. Okay? Because we will only choose the highest hazard label to be put with the same nature. Okay? To be put on the hazard on the bottle, reagent bottle. Corn nitric acid, yes. As I mentioned here, yes, I have already put. If we have corn nitric acid or corn sulfuric acid, then they will have both oxidizing and corrosive label. Okay, this is the answer for E. Remember, both corn nitric acid and corn sulfuric acid, they will have two labels of oxidizing and corrosive. Okay, and I have also the example of methanol. with toxic and flammable label. Sodium and potassium, they both have the flammable and corrosive label. Okay, anything else that you can find in your lab handbook? Okay, for the latecomer, I found that there are some students they come late. Okay, then remember to take your attendance through the link there. Okay. Any more? Any more? Search the from your lab handbook. Find it so that you can see some of them. They will have two labels. Hi, Matthew. Matthew Wong. Can you find any other example?
Yes.
Please tell me, or type it into the group chats. Ammonium dichromate. Okay. What are the hazard warning label that you will put? Ammonium dichromate. Okay. For explosive and explosive, not only. Okay, I said you have to use 2 or more. Okay. Ammonium dichromate. Other than the explosive, anything else? If it is not, then any other chemical which will show 2 or more hazard warning label. Any other student? Explosive and irritant. Okay, let me check. Is it irritant? Yes. Okay. So, Hồ Yatman, help us to solve the problem for the ammonium dichromate. Okay, it is flammable. It is explosive and irritant. Okay, then any other example? Now, can you help me to check yellow phosphorus? Can you help me to check yellow phosphorus to see whether it will have 1 or 2 label? Potassium dichromate. Good. Now, Lei Junhei also find another one, which is called potassium dichromate. Okay, it is a chemical which is oxidizing and irritant. Very good. Okay, for the yellow phosphorus, can any one of you help me to find the hazard nature of the yellow phosphorus? What are the nature of yellow phosphorus? Yes, of course, flammable. Flammable first. Flammable. Any other nature? Yellow phosphorus is flammable. Again, corrosive. Yes, good. Now, this is the things that I want you to find out. Okay, because if you go back to corrosiveness, then can you see yellow phosphorus here? No, we cannot see yellow phosphorus here. Okay, but now can you see yellow phosphorus is here? It is toxic. It is not corrosive. So we correct the answer. This is flammable and toxic. Remember, okay? So yes, it is flammable and toxic. Now, then here we can see some of the chemical, they will have two labels. Some of the chemicals, they will have two labels because they have different nature. And then I have already shown you some of this example. Could you please copy it into your lab handbook? And of course, if you don't have the lab handbook on hand here now, then capture the screen, and then copy it into your lab handbook later. Okay? Well, after we have talked about the hazard nature, then we also need to know, okay, how to store the storage of chemicals. If the chemicals, they are like the potassium and sodium, they are very flammable, then you have to keep them away from the air by keeping them under the paraffin oil. But the yellow phosphorus that we have just learned, we have just discussed before, it is flammable, but we will not keep it under the oil. We will keep it under the water. So because they have different nature. Okay? Sodium and potassium, they will catch fire with, okay, please write it down. They will catch fire for example, the potassium catches fire with water or air. Okay? Sodium and potassium, they will catch fire with water or air. But for the yellow phosphorus, it does not catch fire with water. It does not catch fire with water. Then we will keep it under the water. Okay? To prevent contact with oxygen gas in air. Okay? Can you see what I write here? Okay. Remember, you must put it down into your handbook. Now, then other than these two kind of chemicals, we also have some volatile and flammable liquid. Okay, what does it mean? What's the meaning of the term volatile? What is the
Very unstable.
meaning? Sorry, Tembo?
Unstable.
Not unstable.
Unstable.
Not unstable. You know what's the meaning of volatile? Okay, please look at the chat room there.
Easily evaporated.
Yes, easily to be evaporated. Okay? Okay, please write it down. Okay? For volatile, it means it is easy to evaporate. Okay, if it is easy to evaporate and it is flammable, then it can catch fire very easily. So that we have to keep them away from the heat source or direct sunlight. And also, some of the chemical, they will absorb the moisture in the air. Okay, so that we have to keep them in a well-sealed container. Okay, then do you know what's the name of this well-sealed container? What's the name of this well-sealed container? You can type the name, the answer in the group chats. Reagent, not reagent bottle. Reagent bottle is common. You can also find out this name in this lab handbook. Okay, let me show you the answer. Now, the name of this apparatus is here. The desiccator. Remember, desiccator. Desiccator is that container which helps us to keep the things dry. Because inside the desiccator, we have some anhydrous calcium chloride. Anhydrous calcium chloride is a drying agent. Of course, it will also absorb moisture and keep the things dry. And then, okay, for some chemicals which will decompose under the sunlight, then we will keep them in a brown bottle. We will keep them in a brown bottle. Okay, and this, okay, for example, nitric acid, corn nitric acid, and also we have the silver nitrate solution, hydrogen peroxide solution, chlorine water, something like that. They can be decomposed easily under the sunlight. Okay, also capture the screen and remember the terms here. Now, this is almost the end of the lesson. I have posted the assignment in the Google Classroom.